It was focused in areas such as food production. We looked into agro-processing. We looked into healthcare. In the main healthcare, we focus on the exchange of doctors, our students going to Italy. We also focus on infrastructure. We met big companies.
My question is, the fresh produce market and the 10 hospitals, what is the budget and over which period of time do you think it will be completed?
This particular mission, the commitment that was sought was in the main the hospitals. So this development agency in Italy is a national agency. We'll work with MEGA. We are looking at them putting more or less 10 billion rand. To them, it's something less than a million euros, if not a million. If you look at the exchange rate. Now, that money is going to be focused on the building of our hospitals. We've identified, for now, we've identified 5 hospitals.
I just wanted to ask, once these co-ops have been established in the province, are you looking at exporting these products to other countries, such as Italy, since you've established a relationship with that country?
We're able to find the right partner now, people who's willing to come and invest. And it took us a lot of negotiations involving some of our South African companies and Italian companies that have done work with the very same institutions, because companies in Italy that have done work with the same institution can go out and look for work and come back to the institution and say, we found some work, whether it makes sense to you, can you consider this?
Was Robert Gumet a part of your delegation? And if so, who paid for him? And what criteria was used if he was part of the delegation to select or single him out?
Robert Gumet was part of our visit. In fact, he has got a presence in Italy. His owning is partnering with a lot of companies. So we found him very useful to in the organization of all the contractors, business companies that were there in the main. He's working with them, he's part of it. So we're able to meet all the business people. He's also working with SACHE. He has got money from the very same institution. Assisted very much to get us to meet the president of the institution. It's all about network, knowing people. But in the main, he's doing business in Italy. He's based there. He's big in the tourism sector. They're owning some facilities where they are doing business mainly in tourism.
Hospitals and schools are basically for free. Now a private company comes to run. Will the way these hospitals are going to work and the schools, will people be required to pay more? How is this going to benefit this company that is investing?
Government will will occupy the hospitals, will use the hospitals, and will pay them over time. It makes business sense for people who are lending the money, because the years in between, you will be using the facility, you will be paying a certain amount of money to use the facility. That is the interest on their money. But finally, you will pay this hospital over time. It's the same as leasing someone's building. Leasing the building with an option at the end to buy the building.
I only got one question regarding the hospitals that the Premier has mentioned. In your very first state of the province, Premier, you mentioned all these hospitals that they were going to get the infrastructure and that financially and everything that had to do with the refurbishing of these hospitals. But yet still we have not been to that level, and still they are the very same hospitals that are going to be pumped in fact going to get that sum of 10 billion pumped into them to be revitalized and refurbished. What I want to understand is, how can we be sure that exactly this time this is going to be happening to these hospitals? The certainty.
It is our responsibility to educate the nation, to provide health care, to do all these things with a limited resources. These resources are there on a yearly basis, and you juggle around, you take from this department to try and support this department, but these resources are never enough.
Hello, I am Kasha from SABC. Yes, what I want to ask is, as you've been to other countries before, and I see that you take the same delegation, the same emissaries, the same 3 emissaries. What is it that you saw in those departments that you think that will develop the Mpumalanga?
We were able to find the right partner now, people who's willing to come and invest. And it took us a lot of negotiations involving some of our South African companies and Italian companies that have done work with the very same institutions, because companies in Italy that have done work with the same institution can go out and look for work and come back to the institution and say, we found some work, whether it makes sense to you, can you consider?
It's not a small thing that we've achieved, what the Premier has achieved with this visit, to secure the support of SACHE, which has huge capital resources that we can use to, all the things that we've been talking about as a province would be easier to do now. But obviously we can't do them all at the same time. We have to start. And what is highlighted as the immediate hospitals that have been identified. We start with those, we show some successes. SACHE realizes that we mean business as a province. We demonstrate service delivery, the momentum builds, and we can achieve even more on other areas that we need to do.